Hi, Mercury Parker here with a special human design evolution update. In all my excitement this week to talk about Venus going direct, I forgot to talk about Mercury going retrograde. As I've been talking about all year, because this has been the year of the retrogrades, anytime we have a retrograde cycle, it basically sets us up for an evolution, a mini evolutionary cycle within a bigger evolutionary cycle. There's a tiny theme that gets set up in a retrograde cycle that within the energy of the planet invites us to explore sort of a sub-theme in the bigger theme. I have to first start by setting the stage for what the bigger thing is. The bigger evolutionary cycle that we are in is we are exploring for ourselves the stories that we tell about who we think we are. We're rewriting that story, and part of that rewriting the story of who we are is looking at old patterns, old pains. We're looking at traumas, we're looking at emotions, we're looking at belief systems, patterns, habits, things that are holding us back from being the fullest expression of the truth of who we are. So we're using our understanding of our past self, and we are rewriting that story, and we certainly have been really knee deep in this process for a couple of years now, and honestly it's going to continue into 2019. The theme of 2019 is kind of finishing up this process of recrafting a story that really is the full expression of your potential, and then beginning the process through cultivating faith, how you're going to begin to live into and fully manifest the true story of who you are. Not the crappy one that you've been using perhaps from the past, not the old one. That's done. We're going to write a new story, and then we're going to cultivate faith so that we can begin the process of, through faith, anchoring into the cosmos the potential of something bigger and better for our lives. It might involve some upheaval, it might involve some change, but in the end, no matter what it looks like in the short run, we're actually moving towards a really powerful cycle that's going to bring to us an enormous surge in creative energy, a huge increase of potential of what we can be creating, and ultimately, in spite of how it might look right now, we're moving very steadily towards an era of sustainable peace. So don't let the nitty-gritty, immediate day-to-day details get you down. Just keep doing your work. Just keep writing the true story of who you really are. Venus gave us an opportunity in its retrograde cycle to explore our values and our relationships. Mercury is always about communication, and it's also about what we need to do to strengthen our ability to have influence and impact. So one of the themes that we have been exploring and will continue to explore, especially those of you who I would classify as light workers, those of you who know what's up on the planet and really feel a deep pull to take leadership in crafting and building a world of equity and equitable, sustainable peace. If you feel called to serve the world in some way, or you really feel like part of your life purpose is to be here right now to facilitate and nurture and support the growth and evolution of the planet, then whatever goes on in this Mercury cycle is an opportunity for you to explore for yourself how you need to show up for your life in a way that deepens your capacity to have impact and influence. This particular cycle in Mercury going retrograde is incredibly important for just that, because this Mercury retrograde cycle is inviting us to really play with what I'll call 4 themes, okay? We're playing with the theme of habits, we're playing with the theme of focus, we're playing with the theme of power, and we're playing with the theme of money. So these are actually somewhat similar themes that we played with a little bit with the Venus cycle. Now we get a different variation on the theme because the planets are not accidental or random. They're actually quite brilliant. You're being invited through this cycle to first and foremost explore what habits are you living out in your daily experience, and are those habits in supporting or enhancing your ability to focus, to hold a vision, to stay clear, to be able to transmit to others the power of the vision that you hold? Are your habits helping you stay focused, or do you have habits that maybe are distracting you? Are you spending too much time on Facebook? Be honest. Are you maybe listening to the news when you know you shouldn't? Are you maybe sometimes still getting into cycles where you're complaining or you're criticizing or you're judging, or you're standing back and sort of watching with an attitude that maybe isn't as compassionate and open-hearted and accepting as it could be? These are things you're being invited to explore by Mercury, and really look at what needs to happen in your reality for you to cultivate a lifestyle, consistent habits that support you in staying focused on your end goals, that support you in being able to hold the fire under your vision of what's possible for your life and even for the world, without losing your focus or in such a way that you do not get distracted. Of course, we know that where we put our focus is where we get growth. And when you are losing your focus, or when you lose connection with your focus, sometimes you also lose connection with your power. You cannot create if you're distracted, because all you're going to create is chaos. So you're being invited to also explore, are your habits and is your focus supporting you in staying aligned with your power? And as I've been talking about for weeks on my Quantum Alignment show, if you missed it, check it out on the YouTube channel, or if you're on my Facebook page, go to the Human Design for Everyone Facebook page. There are videos there in the Quantum Alignment show for the last couple of weeks. I've been talking about power and human design. Every single one of you is powerful. And the more aligned you are with the true story of who you are, the more you activate your power, the more powerful you become in your capacity to influence and impact the world. So is your life, are your habits, is your focus contributing to you being more aligned with the true story of who you are? And is that supporting you in expressing your power? Is that, are you creating for yourself patterns, habits, focus that allow you to cultivate your power so that you can express your power in a way that isn't overbearing or isn't dictatorial, but rather allows you to simply stand in your energy field and with your vibration influence the energy around you. You lead your tribe with your vibe. And if you are going to be a powerful leader, then what Mercury is inviting you to do is to explore, are your habits and your focus supporting you in being powerful? Last but not least, the last theme is money, but it's not just money, it's access to resources. And that access to resources comes from being aligned with Source and operating from a place of faith, and then paying attention, watching the cues in your outer reality, and operating with that outer reality, dancing with it from a place of being expectant of receiving everything you need. Meaning, when you stay connected to Source and you stay connected to your own unique value, and you understand that the role that you play in the cosmic plan is an irreplaceable role that no one else can occupy except for you, and you claim that role and you defend that role and you stand in that role from a place of not ego but service, and you understand that when you take care of yourself, your capacity to stay in the flow of service increases exponentially. And that when you're in that space, because you are so aligned not only with yourself and your unique role in the cosmos, but you're also aligned with the cosmic plan. When you are in that space, you are not only powerful, but you are abundant. And you have access at that point then to all the resources you need to fulfill your life purpose, to fulfill your soul curriculum, whatever that might be in this incarnation, so that you are doing what you came here to do and being who you came here to be. So we spiral in on these themes. We spiral in on looking at our habits, looking at our focus, cultivating our power, and then putting ourselves in a position of being receptive to the instructions that we need to receive, to do what we need to do, to have access to the resources we need to fulfill our life purpose. And then we spiral out, going back to using our resources to cultivate our power, to strengthen our focus, to make sure that our outer reality and our daily habits reflect our connection to Source. So that's what's up for us. The bottom line on a Mercury retrograde cycle is this: it's a great time to recalibrate. Most importantly, it's a really important time to slow down. So even though we're out of this Venus cycle and we have all of this momentum building, and I promise you, as we move into December, momentum is really coming. before you begin to launch into those powerful, important conversations you might need to have about your relationship with your partner, your friends, your family. Next week is Thanksgiving. Or the relationships that you cultivated with yourself even, or with Source. Before you begin those powerful, very vital, important realigning conversations that you've been carrying on in your head this whole Venus retrograde cycle for the last couple of weeks, take a breath and really slow down and contemplate and even pray what needs to be healed, released, aligned, and brought to your awareness for you to be able to communicate clearly the power of your vision, the intention behind your communication, and be prepared to maybe restate things carefully, be prepared for other people sometimes to be confused, be patient. It's not that there's lack of momentum here, it's just a call for more deliberate momentum that makes us, encourages us to stop and take a breath, and if you're going to communicate, hold the intention of the communication first and then let her rip. And then at that point, you can explore what you need to do to deepen the clarity, the focus, the love, the compassion, the acceptance, and keep doing your good work in the world. I hope this helps. I hope you have a great week. I will talk to you again in a couple of days when we look at next week. Have a good weekend.